What's going on, guys? This is Benjamin, and as promised, I'm going to go over my favorite wrist wraps for a review and comparison regarding these three brands. So first, let me explain. You're going to have three different types of wrist wraps. You're going to have a flex, a stiff, and a leather. The reason why I don't have a rogue cloth and I have the rogue leather is number one, I really like leather straps. But compared to the A7 and SBD, which are powerlifting accessory companies, any wrist strap that you buy at, well, I want to be intentional when I say this. These are the two best powerlifting companies out right now in regards to accessories. So if you're going to get a pair of wrist straps for powerlifting, I suggest you get these two. And for wrist stability, really no other company compares to these two. Therefore, when I go for a rogue, I'm going to go for the leather. Now, let's go over the difference between the flex, the stiff, and the leather. The flex, take a look. So one thing I like about SBD is I like to make sure that I use the same wrap every time on the same wrist. Because it has one loop, and obviously the tag right here. This is the top. Yeah, this is the top. You know which wrist you're always going to use, which strap you're always going to use on which wrist. So look, I'm gonna wrap it up. This is how I put on my wrist wraps. And you can still move it, you can still flex. That's why it's called flex. Your wrist is still stable, but a little bit of pliability and maneuverability up in there. So now, in comparison to a stiff, this is an A7 stiff. My only issue regarding the A7s is that they have two right here. Therefore, I mean, I could obviously right or left, but I don't want to do that. So I don't know which wrist wrap I'm always using on whatever wrist. Now, as you can see, when I move my wrist back, it doesn't have as much play as with the flex. So if you want less play, you go with a stiff. Now let's talk about the leather. The leather, fresh out the package, it is going to dig into your wrist. It's not going to have very much play at all. At all. Now, this is how I put mine in. I like it with the ends actually on the inside of my wrists. Now, the one thing about the leather is once you break them in, you have a lot of play regarding them. I would like to say you probably have more play than with the flex. Another thing. There we go. And another thing. The leather versus the stiff and the flex is that you can only go but so far. You don't really have a lot of options. Once you find the correct placement, you really don't have enough, you don't really have a lot of options regarding how loose or how tight you want it. Once you find whatever secures your wrists, you're stuck there. So I would recommend these for when you're going for, I would like to say hypertrophy, more so than powerlifting. So I know a lot of weightlifters use the leather, especially Chinese weightlifters, but objectively speaking, for stability, the stiff and the flex after long-term use is going to outdo the leather. It just is, guys. Okay. But the leather is a awesome flex for when you're at the gym. Why? Because not a lot of people have them. So for style points, I'll always go with the leather. Now, if you want to step it up a notch, go get yourself a pair of custom leather straps. Okay. So I just had these freshly made. And these are digging into my wrists like crazy, to be honest. As you can see, I really have to stretch it in order to get it in. Now, this is as far as I'm gonna go for now. But once it starts to break in, it'll have more play in regards to the wrist. Now, you get extra style points, obviously, but for pure function, it's gonna be one of these two, either a flex or a stiff, SBD or A7. A7 is an American brand company. SBD is from the UK. But in regards to which one I would get, I support A7. I will always buy their stuff. Therefore, that's why I have A7 wrist wraps. But if I had to spend my money and only had one option, I will go with the SBD. And whether it's a flex or a stiff is up to you. The reason why I would go with the SBD is because, as stated before, you will always know which wrist which wrap you're going to use on whatever wrist. Okay, so what do you guys think, guys? Is there anything I didn't cover? Do you want to know any more information? If so, tell me in the comments below. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Let me know which company that you're going to go with, what type of wrist strap that you're going to buy. This is Ben, along with Louise. I'll talk to you later. Peace.